let's introduce. Oh, that's a good idea. Hi.
I thought that was how we were going to start the podcast.
This is definitely the beginning of the podcast.
Yes, we started here, and we're not editing this back at the beginning of the podcast. I'm Zach Ronan, the tallest of the crew.
I am Pearson Borchard, the not tallest of the crew.
Perfect.
I am Evan Borchard. I've been told I have a face for podcasts.
We're all getting quieter every time we go around.
Who told you that?
We are also the one and only podcast with live penguins in the studio. This is actually how Hear Me Out started. Was Zach pitched to me.
Yep.
Having penguins on a podcast. It was very convincing.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to get into that pitch later.
Yeah, later. We got
And
so much to go
It turns out that getting penguins
That'll be a
is
special.
a lot of work.
Right.
And they really add almost nothing to the podcast.
Okay. Well, hear me out. It's a podcast.
Is the podcast starting?
Podcast started.
Are we going to introduce it?
Part of podcast etiquette is you do not interrupt,
Yeah. No interrupting, man.
because all they have is the audio.
Okay.
Good point. Okay.
Well, I'm breaking the first rule of Hear Me Out, which is Hear Me Out.
That's a good point.
Hear Me
Okay.
Out is a podcast that breaks the rules.
Yes. Is the only podcast that involves people who will die of a terminal illness very shortly. Who will die first? Who knows?
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned and find out. Podcasts. I mean, hear me out. That's the name of the podcast. This is what I wrote down. I wrote it a while ago. A group of us get a topic. That's the first sentence. Create terrible inventions or ideas to pitch. Either we have to argue them or someone else argues for them or against it.
I feel like this discussion should have been had before we started.
Probably.
recording.
We could cut it all out. Might work as a podcast or a board game. The pitches can be made beforehand on the spot or be real life terrible ideas that other people have had. But here are some potential episode ideas. Make pep rallies or concerts more exciting. Sounds like an easy thing. The thing that I wanted to pitch is a t-shirt cannon, but it shoots mugs instead. Because you always have to wait in line for a long time for the mugs. That's going to be exciting. But that's the only idea I came up with. So
It adds excitement and a level of danger.
here's a potential...
Are the mugs full?
Potentially full.
When do they fall out?
Here's another one. Okay, what are games that aren't intended for children, and how can we make them child-friendly? Here's my proposal. Russian roulette for children.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm hearing you out.
Yes, now hear me out.
Yes.
I don't know if you want me to go through all the episode ideas and then we could pick one and then we could start. Yeah, I'll just keep pitching you guys ones. If there's one that you like, we can keep doing it. Okay, I don't remember writing this. The title is Fix Racial Issues. And it says...
That's it. That's the idea.
There we go.
We got it.
That's the whole podcast.
This podcast is solving racism.
Rather than stop racial slurs, make them okay. What would have to be...
I think I might have to go.
Well, okay, so the idea is what would have to happen to make racial slurs okay to say? Certain words have kind of lost the steam and the sting associated with it. No one gets offended when they get called cracker, though they used to, because it used to be associated with slave owners and whipping and stuff like that. No one gets
I feel like there's a better example than cracker. I can't think of it right now.
well then think of it.
Oh,
Fanny.
what do they call a carpetbagger?
Carpetbagger. Yeah, see, that's not going to offend anyone nowadays, but it used to offend people during the Civil War. So I had a question for y'all. I personally like dystopian and utopian things. In high school, we would study them, and students would say why they're so terrible about making it impossible for people to feel emotions or taking freedoms away. But I typically liked a lot of them. I have my own favorite books that would create very good futures or presents for us today. There's also a lot of really good tropes. Do y'all have any idea about what post-apocalyptic or dystopian future is better than the current present we're living in today?
There's a little old book called The Giver, and it discusses a dystopian future where people are forced to take pills against their will that strip them of all emotion and feeling. And that sounds pretty great to me.
Yeah. I find it offensive for people who do have to take like medication for depression and stuff like that. Because everyone else reading the book is like, wow, that would be terrible. I'd kill myself instead of living in a world like that. And like, yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah, you should be depressed.
Yeah.
That's humanity.
Yeah, and the thing in books like that is like, there's no crime. It's a very good price to pay. You don't have emotions, but you don't have emotions, so you don't miss having emotions.
Right.
Do they? I haven't read The Giver in a long time.
Yeah.
Do they take away like the good emotions too, or just the bad ones?
Well, it's not like everyone's apathetic. Everyone's just kind of neutral and like cordial, like an acquaintance at a party. But that's about it.
Huh.
It's not that bad. It's not like
they don't love their family. They're just like around their family, and they're acquainted with them, and they don't like dislike them.
Is that not normal?
See, that's actually good because a lot of marriages end in divorce, 50% of them, and then a lot of people just sort of hate their family in the first place. So this is an improvement from that scenario.
They also don't see color.
Yeah, well, that's another thing.
Okay.
Like dogs aren't sad about that.
This is kind of off topic.
Okay.
Dogs are great. Dogs are real happy.
Dogs are happy,
but they have pills that can make you suicidal. Like, you'll hear these advertisements, and it's like, be careful, it might make you have suicidal thoughts.
That's a good point.
Is there a reverse to that pill? Because I must think it's changing some sort of chemical in your brain.
Yeah. Well,
Is there a pill that can make you love life?
Ecstasy. So in Equilibrium is a similar concept to The Giver, and that's that Christian Bale movie that for the first like 2/3 of it is amazing, and the last third of it they're just like, forget it, we're going like full Raven Matrix style on this, and it makes no sense. But it's another one of those worlds where no one has emotions, and because of that there's no crime. And also because no one has emotions and people can like focus better, they learn this like super awesome kung fu called gung kata, where they can like walk into a dark room and shoot everyone because they just like, they're so emotionless that they can shoot people. I don't know, but it's never seemed like a terrible scenario. I mean, like, think of Link from Legend of Zelda. His whole thing, his only power is that he's courageous, and it just makes it so he's like emotionless in the face of danger. And we like him because that world is painted as good. But in these other worlds, we're just told, hey, that's bad, and then so it's bad.
Right.
Yeah. Evan, what's your idea on a better future today?
I didn't really read any books in high school. So
Aren't you a teacher?
Elementary school.
Oh, that makes sense.
They can't read yet.
we don't really get into dystopia as much.
Okay. Well, then what children's book would be good today?
Gosh, that one.
I guess it sounds like I'd like Fahrenheit 451 because I'm not much of a reader.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a safe choice.
Yeah, I don't really remember any dystopias.
Would you be a firefighter?
No, definitely not. That's just out of my physique, though. That's not out of any philosophical or moral reasons. I don't know. Throw out some dystopias. Mad Max. That would probably.
Yeah. Well, how about I look up? Here's some dystopias
You
for
wouldn't
you.
have to wear like clothes anymore.
That's your preferred scenario. Okay, so not much for books, but how about movies? Children of Men, The Matrix, Divergent, Hunger Games, Snowpiercer.
Hunger Games. Now
that's nice, except for like 10 people.
Yeah. Okay.
Hunger Games. There's a future that helps people appreciate life.
Good point. Well, Hunger Games is even supposed to be, it's just a hyperbole of our day,
Right.
Because we have the United Nations or the capital, but everyone's still fighting each other.
And you know, some of the sectors?
Yeah.
Some of the sectors aren't that hungry.
Like,
Maybe
okay.
you'd live in one of the ones that is rich.
It's just, maybe it's just like parched games. They're just a little thirsty.
I'll be honest. Like, the Hunger Games, obviously sucks. I mean, I don't think it's a controversial opinion to say.
How
child
dare you.
murder?
How
is-
dare
Oh,
you.
that okay, got it.
Right, that
But
part.
like, if we're being honest, getting into the later Hunger Games, Katniss makes things much, much worse.
Yeah.
Way more people die
Right.
than had she just let the Hunger Games continue.
Yeah, well, see, now we're getting into the dystopian thing. Is it what makes things okay? Do the ends justify the means? Is it about the good of the many over the good of the few? See, I'm always trying to figure that out, because the bad guy is always the person who puts the majority first. But that's always because the writers make...
Except Spock.
Yeah, except Spock. They always make the good guy be able to save everyone. But philosophically, that doesn't make sense.
See, everybody likes Spock, but nobody wants to be Spock. I think that's the point. Everybody wants to be
That's a good
Captain
point.
Kirk, who's like the charismatic, emotional.
I want to be Uhura.
"Brr." Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I heard an interesting point from George R. R. Martin the other day,
Yeah.
who was saying how, Lord of the Rings ends with Aragorn being king. Mm-hmm.
Spoilers for Lord of the Rings.
Return of the King. The king being Aragorn.
For those
But
of
he
you who
was saying,
don't know,
like, what's Aragorn?
I actually have not seen that movie.
I actually don't know. Is it Aragorn or Aragorn? I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Aragorn's. He was like, what's Aragorn's tax policy?
that's good.
Just
Right.
because someone is good does not make them able to run a country.
have you guys heard the thing about? Have you guys watched Snowpiercer?
Yes.
So the thing with Snowpiercer, there's one guy. There's several tangents on this, so hear me out. That one was an organic one. It's a scenario where there is like a factory type world where everything works in a system. All that. I did the hand motion just in case you're wondering what those sounds are about. Ed Harris plays this eccentric guy that no one knows anything about. And he creates this thing that like revolutionizes the world. It's a factory-like thing. Every time you enter into a new room, it's like an entirely different society and stuff like that. There's definitely enslavement going on. What other movie was I just describing? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Same exact movie. Eccentric guy that's hidden away from the world, has a factory type thing, makes questionable food,
And kills kids.
and kills kids, and slave labor. Every room is a different room. Every room is a different room.
It's chocolate.
Yeah, see, the chocolate, the Wonka bars made
Which
of
I
cockroaches.
think is almost a good illustration for our current state with Disney.
what are you talking about? That they recycle garbage?
No, that they are basically an evil monopoly corporation, but because they make essentially chocolate,
Oh, I see.
we're like, oh, great.
That's too deep. That's like some NPR stuff.
We hear me out, like to give you the hot takes.
We have changed the log line for this so many
We
times.
give you the hot takes.
Yeah.
Wait, say it at the same time. We
give you the
hottest
of takes.
takes.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Okay, so this is where the tangent goes, and this is where you gotta hear me out.
Once again.
Ed Harris, God Boy, in this isolated world that he controls, that people are oblivious of, like the truth of that's going on.
In case anyone hasn't seen Snowpiercer, it's a train.
Okay, does Snowpiercer end any better than it started? Again, these dystopian movies have kind of a theme that they end a lot worse than they
No,
started.
yeah, I think
Like everyone
kills
dies
everybody.
in Snowpiercer.
Well, it's sort of like a Noah's
Yeah.
Ark type
So
of
it's
situation.
like, is it better to keep the status quo?
Oh,
or
I
have
see.
everyone die?
I see. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Ed Harris, God Boy, isolated thing. No one knows what's going on. What other movie was Ed Harris in where the same exact thing happened?
Nashville
Truman
Treasure
Show!
too.
Oh, yeah, we said it at the same time. Truman Show. The Truman Show. He plays like, he's like an allegory for God. And he's controlling this person in this isolated world. What if those movies are in the same universe?
I honestly, that's actually a good hear me out pitch. We'll get to it later, but The Truman Show, I don't feel like would be that bad.
Yeah. See, is it dystopian? Because I've always had this thought, like, what if I was in a simulation or like in a scenario like The Truman Show? But then I was thinking about it, like, if...
I think it's a bit narcissistic to think you're in The Truman
That
Show,
too.
but all of us do.
Yeah, this is my reasoning that calms my heart at night, is what I want to know Because if the world is so screwed up that I'm in a simulation or I'm being stared at all day, I don't want to be a part of that. And I want to be a part of this world where they preserve me alive for their entertainment instead.
What if this podcast right now is you guys trying to convince me and lead me off the trail that I am actually in the Truman Show?
Hear me out.
You are.
You're definitely not in the Truman Show, Pierce. Now we're going to interrupt this podcast for a word from our sponsor, and Al Pacino is going to introduce it.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Who is our sponsor?
Hey,
Oh,
Al.
yeah.
Hey, Al.
What?
How's it going?
I'm glad you could make it.
It wasn't going good at all until I got some Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Hooah! Yeah! She's got a great ale! That's their slogan. Bye! Turning into Gilbert Godfrey. Bye, Gilbert Godfrey! Also, Gilbert Godfrey's here. Bye, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale! It's the palest!
Brought to you by clipping the microphone.
That was a fun segment. Pearson, I hear you got some terrible ideas for us.
Oh, I got so many. These are actually inventions that have been made. These are real. Somebody made these happen.
Now, you're not pulling my leg here, are ya?
Somebody heard these out.
Not only heard, but did these out.
Did these out. Now, did me out. Okay.
Okay. Our first product.
Oh, bye, Al.
Oh, yeah. See you later.
See ya. I'm leaving too. We're separate
We
people.
didn't even invite you. Get out of here.
Affleck screwed me over.
Oh, dear.
He's going to hell.
All right. This particular product is made by a company called Hydrotech, and it has nothing to do with water.
Good start.
Does it have anything to do with tech?
It does. These are air-conditioned shoes.
Sick. So like Back to the Future.
Right. Except nothing like Back to the Future.
Ooh.
Air-conditioned shoes provide extra fresh air in your soles. It basically has little fans in the sole.
We
of
should
the
have made
shoe.
Hydrotech our sponsor.
That would have been good.
Hydrotech.
Hydrotech. Gilbert!
Get out of here.
Go!
Fine, I'm leaving. I was the parrot from Aladdin.
They didn't call you back for the new one.
No, he's gone.
Is there even a parrot in?
No, there's
in
a
the new
parrot.
Aladdin? Does
I
he
haven't
talk?
seen it.
He doesn't talk.
There's a reason.
God, he's so obnoxious.
Now we all know why they didn't.
Now we
call
know.
Gilbert Godfrey back for Aladdin live action.
Yeah. Okay. These shoes don't sound bad though.
Yeah, they're not great. People didn't really buy it. It was distributed in like.
How
Is
much
it-
were they?
They were $75.
That's actually
that's
not
a
that much.
yeah. That's really good. So wait, what was the problem? This sounds like a fantastic idea.
It says that basically it just wasn't great because it was just a hole in the bottom of your shoe that had a fan attached to it.
Okay. Okay, I get it now.
And so, like, basically the purpose of shoes was now null and void.
Okay, so it solved a problem by creating a problem.
By getting rid of shoes.
No, it's like the.
Might as well just not wear shoes.
It's just an empty box.
Just don't wear shoes.
Now you could fan your feet out in the air and they'll dry themselves out. This is like the chimera disease from Mission Impossible, where they create the disease so they could sell the cure for it. I wonder, man, this is like the chimera of shoes. So, okay, so that's the bad idea. How would you defend this idea? You're pitching this idea now.
Hello.
Hi.
In
So-
case you wanted to see the pictures.
I have an idea for you.
Yeah.
It's not a pyramid scheme.
Okay.
Air conditioned shoes.
All right, I'm listening.
Now, when you hear air conditioned shoes, you might think, okay, maybe we're gonna get some sort of cooling pack at the bottom. Maybe have
Because that already exists.
That
Maybe
yeah.
put some science in there. No, that's
put some
not
science
us.
in there. What if I told you we could make these shoes for $5 and sell them for $75?
I'm in.
We just take shoes, cut a hole in the bottom.
Yeah. I like where you're heading. We could use the rest of that rubber that we cut out to make more shoes.
Exactly. You
That's
get
where
it.
the Hydrotech comes from. You step in a puddle.
Hydrotech.
That's where the Hydro comes from.
Brought to you by Hydrotech.
Hydrotech.
That makes perfect sense. I'm in. I'm all in. Take
What
my
are
money.
What are you waiting for?
That's good.
Hydrotech is a company that
Again,
Has a
not a
foot
pyramid scheme.
It bothers me how much you're pushing that it's not a pyramid scheme.
Hydrotech is a company that has a foot fetish.
Let me. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my shoes up on the table here.
Yeah.
Do you see something missing?
Holes.
The lack of holes.
Holes are missing from this.
Oh, yes. I would have said that your shoe was full of rubber, but you're saying it's missing holes.
Yes.
So, are you telling me that I can sell to people what poor people are already wearing?
Absolutely.
Perfect. That's fantastic. What are the chances? So, is there a fan in the bottom of the
There
shoe?
is a fan in the
So,
bottom
how
of the
do I
shoe.
not, get my bunions stuck in the fan and chopping them up?
The technology isn't there yet.
See, I feel... Okay, now you hear me out.
All right, we got to be careful here because we don't want to get sued by Hydrotech.
I don't
so
think-
we are not experts in the Hydrotech patent process.
We aren't.
This is just for humor.
This is parody.
But it is stupid.
And that is libel? Is
Yeah.
that the correct?
Yeah,
No,
that's
I don't
what it's called. It doubles as like a callus remover thing, whatever those are called. And it's just
Oh,
like as you
yeah, I
wear
like
it,
that
it chops up. So you know those shape ups, those
No.
shoes that like make you like they tone your calves and stuff like that.
What if we make them Heelys, and the spinning of the wheel and the Heelys spins the fan?
What if they blow the opposite direction and they shoot stink out at people, and you could be like
That's
your
good.
own air hockey table, and you just sort of slide around all over the place, like one of those cement polishers.
Yeah. That's
perfect.
that is
Now
hydro.
hear me out.
This
I have
podcast is brought to you by Hydrotech.
the shortest lived sponsor that we will have. No, Gilbert. Just because you hear the word sponsor doesn't mean you have to come back.
It's a great product.
The coolest shoes.
The end. The cool. Who is gonna want to buy these shoes?
People with hot feet.
All right, I'm
Quentin
hearing.
Tarantino.
I'm hearing the foot fetish thing come back again.
People with hot feet as in like hot feet or as in like warm?
Stanky feet.
Stank.
Okay, if you have a foot, you don't even need two.
Good point.
Just one.
What do I do with the other shoe?
Put it on your fake leg.
That's good.
Give it
Or on
to-
your hand.
Give it to somebody.
All right.
I don't care what you do with it.
All right. I want to hear another terrible invention.
Yeah, another shoe related product.
Are these all shoes?
The shoe umbrella.
All right.
So the shoe fan or the fan what was
shoe
air,
fan.
air conditioned shoes were designed to keep your feet wet in the rain.
Yeah.
The shoe umbrella is designed to keep your feet dry.
So sort
really
of
they
like.
need to get together.
It's a good point. Make a full shoe. Complete the process.
except the shoe umbrella covers the top and the shoe
So,
air conditioning
I'm not.
covers the bottom.
I'm not looking at a picture of this, but to me, it sounds like you're describing a shoe. Because every shoe covers the top of your foot.
That's not true.
You know,
I've seen sandals and flip flops.
No, those aren't shoes. Those are sandals and flip flops.
I'm pretty sure they fall under the.
We're talking
category
about
of
different
shoes.
things, man.
I'm not saying that shoes don't exist that cover your feet, but there's definitely some that exist that don't.
Anyways.
shoe umbrellas are not designed to keep your feet dry. They're designed to keep your shoes dry.
But can we design a shoe that has a long enough umbrella to keep your head dry?
It's so stupid. Why don't you just wear an umbrella? Just take an umbrella outside that keeps your shoes dry. Did galoshes do the same exact thing?
You know, famous inventors, Leonardo da Vinci, he got hate in his day. People said,
Oh my gosh.
why would we need a helicopter?
He did, yeah, that's right. He worked on helicopters, but they none of them worked.
Did you know? Fun fact: Leonardo da Vinci invented the shoe umbrella. That's a true story.
Okay, now I'm liking it.
The shoe umbrella basically is designed so that if you have really nice shoes,
Yeah.
they're not going to get wet.
Okay, I need to see a picture. No, that's fake.
They are too.
For the people on the podcast. It's exactly what you think
It is
is.
It is exactly
Whatever
what
you're picturing in your head right now.
That's it.
That is it.
You have,
No.
you have invented shoe umbrellas.
Are you serious?
In your head.
What? How reputable is this website?
It is literally a very small.
Wait, no, you skipped shoe umbrella. You skipped two shoe umbrella and skipped over iPoddy.
I was getting to iPod.
You're getting to iPod. No, this is okay. Whatever. Jeez.
I poopy.
That's the joke.
Instead of apps, they have craps. Instead of Wi-Fi, they have Wi-Fi. There's this joke in there somewhere. I don't know.
So I think the inherent problem with shoe umbrellas is they clip onto the front part of your shoe.
What's gonna happen to the back?
So it might. First of all, the back of your shoe is completely uncovered because you couldn't cover your legs really, and second of all, it's gonna ruin the front of your shoe. If you're clipping it onto the front of your shoe, that's good. That's like the purpose.
So the umbrella is merely an extension of the shoe. It does not come with the original shoe.
No, you have to put it on. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it's not like you're buying shoes with umbrellas attached. It's like you're attaching an umbrella to a shoe.
It's even a beach umbrella in this picture. It's not even like
the worst
umbrella.
part is you're trying
To be fashionable. Those are nice shoes.
Yes, you're trying to be fashionable and you don't want your fashionable shoes to get wet. But in the process, you are becoming extremely unfashionable.
Once again, creating a problem just to solve it.
Right.
Okay, but
Could zombies benefit?
zombies don't need
from
shoes.
air-conditioned
See,
shoes
you
or
don't
shoe
need
umbrella? money
money if you're gonna be a zombie. This is a world that doesn't need an economy. No one's rich, no one's poor. There's no classes. I'm telling you, hear me out. Okay. Here's the reason why this is stupid. The thing has already been invented for like 100 years. Do you know those like plastic shoe covers that nurses and like forensic scientists wear?
Booties.
Yeah, booties. Booties.
I like booties.
I'm more of a shoe umbrella guy myself. I was trying to think of the most PC way to tell that joke. Yeah, but booties have existed and they do the same exact thing and people like already accept them and they're cheap. No. There's no way this is real. No, okay. Next episode we're double checking to make sure all these sources are
do
real.
not say what it is. Just
Okay,
leave it
okay.
at that.
From
Okay.
now on, I'll only pick ones that like actually have a because some of them actually list a company that
Good. Okay.
endorses these and sells these.
Okay. As funny as they
geez.
are, I don't know if they're actually real.
How much are the shoe
The
umbrellas?
iPoddy does have a brand.
Yeah.
Basically, for those who aren't seeing this, which is all of you who probably aren't listening to this podcast.
All three of you.
All three of you.
Us.
That are us.
Listen to this later.
What we're seeing is a child's toilet that you know how when kids are learning to go potty. They have a small toilet that you put beside the toilet that they're supposed to go. It's supposed to help them learn because they're not big enough to go on the big boy seat yet. And everybody knows on the big boy seat,
Yeah, I definitely
you always
know
have
about
your
this.
phone. You always have your phone when you're on
Yeah.
the big boy seat.
I feel like that's what I have hands for.
Right. So it holds the iPad for them. They don't. So that's the thing.
They never have to stop pooping.
Exactly. They
I
can just.
I'm
stay-
getting stuff done. I'm pooping and I'm doing what I was doing before. except without my pants on.
They can just stay on the toilet.
Yes, they should.
I would like this.
Yeah.
I would enjoy this.
You would.
Just as a, what's it called? A PSA?
PSA.
Don't sit too long on the toilet because you can develop hemorrhoids.
I know.
So.
I mean, yeah, I heard about that. Okay, so this isn't an actual topic that I want to cover, but I just want to read what I wrote because that in itself is the funniest part of it. So I wrote as a topic, ways to get away with crimes. And one of my suggestions was rephrase embezzle and bedazzle as embedazzle.
Embedazzle.
And for some reason, that was supposed to be an entire segment. Was that? And I have no idea what that was supposed to be.
I think you just explained the entire thing.
That was it.
Can you launder embezzled jeans?
If they're bedazzled.
That's not. I didn't mean embezzle. I meant bedazzled jeans.
Embedazzle. You
Can
gotta use the word.
launder bedazzled jeans?
Now, are you asking
will the
this?
bedazzles come off?
Are you using the word launder to mean like embezzling, or because we're talking about clothes and you're literally
Put it in
cleaning?
the laundry.
Okay, now I'm confused.
What if you use your money to make bedazzled jeans and you turn it into a money laundering scheme? I feel like that's the only context.
Then
in
that
which
would
this
be
work,
embedazzling. Thank you for bringing context to my stupid joke. Okay, so I do have.
I didn't understand this conversation because I'm not a nerd.
Thank you for segregating yourself from us. That's for another episode.
Pearson is wearing bedazzled jeans, just FYI for the podcast.
Oh, you weren't supposed to say that, Evan. You got him.
You know?
And nothing else.
You know? If it ain't hurting, it ain't working.
That's
It
good.
hurts.
I can tell.
It hurts us as well. Can you hear us out on this podcast? Could you pitch this podcast to us?
Me?
Yeah.
That was this. This is the pilot. This is me pitching it to you guys. How's it going?
Well,
I brought the penguins.
tweet us at Alec Baldwin.
We read his tweets, so
We read his tweets.
we'll know when you respond to him.
Yes, absolutely. We have notifications on. We hit the bell.
Yep.
Is there a bell on Twitter?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I'm
so.
not on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't
I've
actually
never-
use Twitter.
I've never used Twitter.
We'll have to start using it. Alec Baldwin, we're coming for you. Okay, so
Gilbert but Godfrey has another message. He's back.
What? Ah!
we want you back. Okay, no, okay, now he does. Oh, now you don't come. Gosh, we'll get some other crazy bald guy.
I'm doing Aladdin!
Oh, okay, now you're doing Aladdin because he didn't want you before.
They're making a third one?
Yeah. Oh, how'd you move so fast?
Wow.
Let's come up with a closing
Remember,
segment.
remind your friends. Hear me out. The only podcast currently with live penguins.
It's weird how they always respond right when we say that.
Yeah. They're very responsive penguins.
Yeah.
Whenever we say the word penguins, they
Is that even what a penguin sounds like?
I don't know what a penguin sounds like. Actually, I definitely do. That's what we have penguins here. That's what they sound like.
I don't know if it's legal to have penguins.
We definitely don't have penguins here.
This whole podcast is a terrible idea.
That's a good point. Now hear me out. What if it actually is a great idea? Stupid people make up the majority of the country. That's not going to get people listening by saying that.
Statistically speaking, you're probably stupid.
Well, the average person in America has an IQ of 100, but the average person in Texas has an IQ of 98. So think about that. Or if you can't, ha.
And if you're listening to this podcast, your average IQ is...
That's a good point. It is.
If you're in this podcast, your average IQ.
No, I think that's where we're going to have to end it.
What about an iPad for kids?
We end it with penguin ASMR.
That sounds good.
Just hear it for 10 minutes.
Do you want to hear? This is the sound Wait. Hold on.
Touching each other's beaks.
That was the sound of penguins playing the drums. now show us the sound of penguins touching beaks.
They're well-trained penguins, I'll give them that.
This is the sound of a penguin drowning.
Can penguins actually drown?
Let's see. I got one right here. Let's have an outro thing that we say as an outro thing.
Hey, boys and girls.
And girls.
Hopefully.
You've heard us out. Now it's time for you to see us out.
This has been an episode of Hear Us Out. Or is it
The
Hear Me
only
Out?
Hear me out.
podcast with live penguins. Make sure to tell your friends.
Yeah, and make sure you listen to the next episode because it might also be the first
And make
podcast
sure
with
you
dead
definitely
penguins.
hear us right now,
Yeah, right now.
because this is very important.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Now stay tuned for the penguins who may or may not still be alive by next episode.
What's the next? Do we have any other penguins that are willing to do sounds for us?
Alright, bye. I like what Zach says. You've heard us out. Now, see
It's
us
time
out.
To see us out.
Bye!
Bye.
I can't see anything because I never open my eyes. That's why I listen to podcasts. See ya, you stupid garbage humans. Affleck was always here to destroy your life in the first place. It's a scam.
And you're never gonna die.
And if you listen to this podcast, you're never gonna die.